It was the summer of 1983. The small town of Rosewood, Montana was quiet, too quiet. Tucked between mountains and pine forests, it was the kind of place where nothing ever really happened. That all changed on the night of June 14th. 17-year-old Laura Whitman had just finished her evening shift at a local diner off Highway 9. She was well-liked by everyone, sweet, reliable, and always smiling. She called her mom before leaving work, saying she'd be home by 10. But Laura never walked through that front door. Her car was found the next morning. It sat neatly parked near the diner. The keys still in the ignition. Her purse on the passenger seat. No signs of struggle. No footprints. No witnesses. The local police assumed she ran away. Maybe stress. Maybe boyfriend trouble. But her mother knew better. She would never leave like that. Something bad happened to my daughter. But in a time before cell phones, GPS, or CCTV, there was nowhere to look. The town whispered. The headlines faded. And just like that, Laura Whitman was gone. For the Whitman family, time stopped. Laura's room was left untouched, her posters still on the wall, her bed made, her perfume on the dresser. Her mother kept the porch light on every night, waiting. Years passed. 10, 20, 30. Her mother died in 2008, never knowing what happened to her child. But one person never stopped searching, Laura's younger brother, David. He was just 13 when she vanished. And every year, on her birthday, he'd write her a letter. He grew up, became a teacher, had kids of his own, but Laura never left his heart. David tried everything. Private investigators. Online forums. Even psychics. But every lead was a dead end. Rosewood forgot. The world moved on. But for David, every morning still began with the same question. Where are you, Laura? And then, in 2021, nearly 4 decades later, a single phone call would change everything. In 1983, just 3 weeks after Laura disappeared, a hunter in northern Idaho stumbled upon something terrifying in the woods. The decomposed remains of a young woman. No ID. No clothing tags. No personal items. Her face was unrecognizable, her jaw fractured, and several ribs broken. A knife wound to the chest was likely the cause of death. The body was buried in a numbered grave as Jane Doe number 4537. Over the years, the case was opened and closed dozens of times. But no one connected her to Laura. No one imagined the girl in the woods could be the missing waitress from Montana. That is, until 2021, when a new detective named Angela Ruiz reopened Jane Doe's case. She believed this girl had a name. And she was determined to find it. What Angela did next would unravel a 40-year mystery. Detective Ruiz turned to a tool that didn't exist in 1983, forensic genealogy. Using a small sample of bone from Jane Doe's remains, she uploaded the DNA profile to a public ancestry database. It took weeks. The process was slow, painstaking. But then, a match. Second cousins. A family tree. And then, a name. Laura Whitman. Detective Ruiz contacted local police in Rosewood. They confirmed Laura had never been found. The age matched. The dental records? Perfect match. It was her. After 38 years, Jane Doe finally had a name. Laura had been just 300 miles away from home. Alone. Forgotten. But no longer. David received the call on a cloudy afternoon in April. He broke down. I didn't know whether to cry, scream, or feel peace, he later said. All I knew was, she was finally coming home. But the discovery of Laura's body wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. The coroner re-examined her remains. Under her fingernails, still preserved after all these years, was male DNA. A struggle. She had fought back. The sample was run through the FBI's database. And again, a hit. The name: Eleanor Dorsey, a former line cook at the same diner where Laura worked in 1983. He was quiet, kept to himself, never had a criminal record. Alan Dorsey died in 2010 of liver cancer. He never faced trial, never confessed, never gave Laura's family closure. But science had spoken. He was the man who ended Laura's life. Laura's body was brought home. Not in the way anyone had hoped, but finally, in peace. She was buried beside her mother, who had died waiting. The ceremony was small: family, close friends, and Detective Ruiz. David spoke. "My sister never got justice in a courtroom. But the truth found its way here. That's justice too." Her headstone read, Laura and Whitman, 1966 to 1983. Loved, fought, remembered. In the months that followed, David Whitman created the Laura Foundation, an organization funding forensic genealogy projects for unidentified victims. Dozens of cold cases across the U.S. have now been reopened thanks to that single match. Detective Angela Ruiz was honored at a national law enforcement conference for her work. But for her, the award meant little. "I didn't solve a case. I gave a name back to a girl who deserved to be known." Laura's story became a symbol of what never giving up looks like. A story of heartbreak, but also of hope. And proof that even the coldest case can still be warmed by truth.